All right, Coach, 2-0 weekend to start the MAC. Your team played very well in shutout wins at Miami and Ball State. I guess for you, as the head coach, you know, I know the challenge is to continue to play at that level. What do you and your staff do, you know, both from Sunday till the next weekend's matches and then in that match to kind of stay at that level?
Yeah, that is the answer to being a great team compared to a good team, and we try to get that right with the right amount of, hey, let's feel good about how well we've played, and hey everyone, let's not let complacency set in. And sometimes we get a bit too much of either one of them, and ultimately we're not quite as ready the following weekend. So we do everything we can to keep people on their toes, but keep people feeling confident about the way they've been playing.
And then let me go back to last weekend again before we talk about this coming weekend. You know, a number of awards won by the players on the team this week, and as we know, individual awards reflect on the play of the team as a whole, but Chelsea Washington, you know, got a National Player of the Week, and she and Kathleen Duvey each got MAC Player of the Week honors. Just let me ask you about Chelsea to start with. Just, sure. I mean, it just feels like the last couple games have been just an unbelievable stretch. I mean, obviously she scored a lot of goals, but just a lot of dominant play in there, even when she hasn't scored. Just, I guess, talk about, you know, her play in the last few games, and then just kind of what she's meant to your team really all year long.
You know, I think Chelsea has an incredible amount of qualities, but her number one is just what a brilliant team player she is. The first award she won, I brought her in, I sat her down and congratulated her for it, and she said, you know what, Matt, that's great, but what matters is what we do as a team, what matters is what we win as a team, and what matters is where we're going as a team. And I'll give away all the individual awards to win something big at the end with the team. And in that nutshell, it tells you everything you need to know about Chelsea. She cares about this team so much. She's a leader, and she is, in that way, very similar to most of the rest of her teammates, if not all of them, that we want to do well together. And we've been saying this from the beginning of the season. That's where our strength comes from, in the fact that we do it together and we work together. And when an individual gets awards, for the first thing on her mind is that's great, it's lovely, but you know what, I care about the team. So that's Chelsea to a T.
And then along those lines, you know, like I mentioned, Kathleen Duvey was the Defensive Player of the Week in the MAC. And as we know, obviously, you can have the greatest goalkeeper in the world, and they're still going to give up goals if the players in front of them aren't strong as well. So, I mean, obviously your back line, you know, Maureen Kennedy, Morgan Abbott, Alexis Fricky, other kids in there, you know, midfielders tracking back. I haven't asked you probably as much, you know, I have asked you a lot of questions about Chelsea and Erica Hubert and the offense this year, but I mean, it's got to be a comfort. I don't know if comforting is a word, but you have a very veteran stabilizing group back there. I mean, that's got to be nice for everyone, really, at all parts of the field, knowing that, hey, if we miss this play or something goes wrong here, there's always somebody to kind of back me up and help each other out.
You know, I think the without sounding too cliche, we attack as a team, we defend as a team, and again, Duvey got the award this week, and she's very much in the same mindset as Chelsea. She's a brilliant team player, but our team are all thrilled for her to win the award, as they were for Chelsea. Everyone's got each other's back, and that's just why we have been doing well recently. But I think in terms of Duvey, I said this to you early in the season, Mike, I wish that there'd been a camera on her for the last 18 months because she has worked so incredibly hard, more often than not by herself, more often than not at times when it isn't easy to do it, in ways that it isn't easy to do it, to make sure that things go well for her, and to make sure that she gets better, and to make sure that she can be the best she can be. And if there's any young soccer player out there looking at what it takes to make it, boy, she's the example. Because when I first got here, I sat down with her, and we had conversations for a solid year of, you're pretty good, but there's so much more you can do to be better. And all that time she was putting in, she's saying, I'm doing it, Matt, why aren't I playing? Well, it doesn't happen overnight, and it is such an incredible example of someone that's just so dedicated and so determined and so driven to make themselves the best they can be. And I'm really, really proud of how she's been able to do that. It's honestly not that dissimilar to Chelsea in some ways, that she has come from being a very good player to getting national recognition, right? They both have, and they're not the only people on the team that have done that.
Sure.
They're the ones getting the recognition this week, but again, I think across the team we have incredibly driven and dedicated, team-oriented people that just want to make themselves the best they can be.
And then 2 home matches this weekend, and I know obviously there are many reasons why you want to have success. I mean, I know protecting your home field, playing well at home in front of the fans, you know, if you want to make any kind of statement or noise and be in the race at the end of the season, you obviously need to get results every weekend. But just, I'm guessing for you, just Northern Illinois is the most important game because it's the next game. Am I, again, without putting words in your mouth, am I correct in any of these statements?
Yeah, for me to change that exact answer at this point would be a little silly, wouldn't it? So you know what I'm going to say. Yeah, we know that, you know, NIU obviously haven't been on a good run and lost both games last weekend, where we won both games last weekend, but it would be really foolish of us to look past them. We know from last year they gave us a really good game, and we know that they have players that can hurt us, so we need to be ready for Friday. And I think the important thing is, you know, you're as good as your last game, so we can all feel really good about how well we played on Sunday and feel like we've got it figured out. But as you've reminded me, we've had with the 5th time ever our team has started 2-0. None of those teams followed that up particularly well through the season. So we don't want to fall into what we've done before as a university program. We want to make sure that we change that record, and we've started well, but it's a little bit irrelevant to how we finish. So we need to make sure that the next game is the most important, the next day in training is the most important, and today is the day that we can get better. So we're going to work hard in training today before we play tomorrow to make sure that we're ready for this weekend and beyond.
All right, Coach, and again, it's Northern Illinois Friday night at 7. We will catch up with you after that one. Thank you very much.
Cheers.